Hormuz talks failed, Donald Trump now says that negotiations with Iran could resume within the next 2 days, and Pakistan will remain the venue for the next round of US and Iran talks. Meanwhile, Israel and Lebanon have had their first direct talks in decades, marking a rare diplomatic breakthrough amid rising tensions. Back home, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also spoke with US President Donald Trump to stress on the stability in the Strait of Hormuz, after which Sergio Gore hinted at major upcoming deals between India and the United States, signaling a boost in bilateral ties. Sumita Karir is now joining us to take us through all the latest developments that have taken place in the geopolitical arena. Sumita, over to you.
Well, that's right. President Donald Trump has claimed that the war with Iran is close to over. He said that in an interview to Fox News. He's also hinted at the likelihood of talks between US and Iran in Islamabad this week itself. He was, of course, responding to a reporter's question, to which he said that you might want to stay back because there's going to be more news that's coming in. Remember, this is reflective of the back-channel talks and negotiations that perhaps are going on between both the sides after the first set of talks last week, and they failed to yield any outcome as far as a ceasefire, a long-term ceasefire is concerned. Meanwhile, President Trump continues to amp up pressure. He said that the US has been able to completely halt economic trade by implementing a blockade of Iranian ports. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump has also spoken to the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Both sides spoke about the West Asia war and the importance of keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. Remember, passage of ships through the Strait of Hormuz has been a key priority of the Indian government, besides, of course, keeping its national safe. This was, remember, the third round of talks that has happened between the leaders of both the countries this year itself. This is the first set of talks that has happened since the ceasefire proposal was announced. Both sides also reviewed progress achieved in bilateral cooperation that, of course, spans across several sectors. And after that call happened between leaders of both the countries, the United States ambassador to India, Sergio Gore, said, you might want to stay tuned for more. So, of course, that is a very interesting comment that came in from Mr. Gore, because it will be interesting to watch out for the kind of commentary that comes in over the next couple of days, especially as far as India-US ties are concerned, because remember, this was a 40-minute phone call. So, of course, it does indicate that a lot was discussed besides, of course, the war. Meanwhile, what we are hearing on the Israeli and Lebanese side is that ambassadors from both the countries, they held talks with US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, wherein both the sides agreed to hold further talks on a peace agreement. Meanwhile, the United States very categorically stated in a readout that it supports Israel's right to defend itself from Hezbollah's attacks.
I had to divert, because if I didn't do that, right now you would have Iran with a nuclear weapon. And if they had a nuclear weapon, you would be calling everybody over there, sir. And you don't want to do that.
Well, you keep saying was. Is this war over?
I think it's close to over, yeah. I mean, I view it as very close to over. You know what? If I pulled up stakes right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild that country. And we're not finished. But we'll see what happens. I think they want to make a deal very badly.
You never know. The United States had never had meetings at that level with the Iranian government in 49 years. Wow. Like, it's a meeting that had never before happened. Not Democrat, not Republican. We had never had a meeting like that where you have, you know, the person who's effectively running the country in Iran sitting across from the Vice President of the United States. That had never happened. And what look, honestly, after 49 years, there's a lot of course, mistrust between Iran and the United States of America. You're not going to solve that problem overnight. But yeah, I think the people we're sitting across from wanted to make a deal. And I know the President of the United States told us to go out there.
That's as far